Alright guys, I got a real good one here. I just wanted to go through the what's going on with this thing, and I believe I found the problem. This is a 99 Mercedes E320 4MATIC, and what happened with this was this came from a wholesale account, and the mechanic was doing work on it. I believe they did a radiator, they might have did a couple of transmission lines, something to that effect. And then a couple of days later, they get in the car, put it in drive, thing delays and bangs, it's not shifting. So of course they don't have the tool to check the fluid. They figured it's low on fluid. It was low on fluid, they filled it. Everything seemed to be okay, but they left the car overnight to make sure the next day. When it's cold is when it happens. So it happened the next day. All right, so they gave me a call, wanted me to come pick it up and check the car out. So I honestly have the car here for a couple of weeks. It's been very busy. I can kind of work on it here and there, but it's Saturday morning early, and I did some checks, and I think I figured out what's going on with this thing. So first I want to give you guys a shot at the scan tool, because this is not giving me any codes, and you know, when you don't have codes, you don't have direction. Okay, so we'll hit continue. We're going to hit automatic transmission. Continue. Okay, I got the key on. Alright, so we're going to hit codes. Alright, and I got no codes. Okay, and the data that they give me is very limited. Okay, so we just want to stop communication. So I have no codes on the transmission. Okay, and the problem is with this is it delays in drive and it does not shift out of first. Okay, sometimes for me it did not shift out of first for maybe a mile or two. All right, and pretty much what it boils down to is when the car does not shift on this particular model, which is a 722.6, that is normally something electrical. Okay, and when I mean that, it could be a bad conductor plate, it could be a bad computer, or it could possibly be a bad gear shift selector module that that's in the center console. So it's kind of probably one of the three. This actually threw me for a loop, because on my Solus I put this on and I drove the car to see what kind of information that I can get. And you know, inside the transmission you have the N2 and N3 speed sensors. So I got no codes on the engine either. So let me just shut the key off of this car. Okay, so I have inside this unit, you have that conductor plate, and that consists of the N2 and N3 speed sensors. All right, so the N3 speed sensor should not read in first, in fifth, and in reverse. So I'm driving it with the scanner on it, and I have a reading all the time. I took it on the parkway. I have a reading all the time. Okay, so right away I think that is my problem. So I changed out the conductor plate only to have the same problem. At that point I came to the conclusion that I think the software on the Solus is there's something wrong with it, because it's always reading. Okay, because what I did to verify was I put my scope on the N3 speed sensor and it's reading correctly. Okay, so that kind of eliminated that, even though I have now a new conductor plate in this thing. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to come over to the other side of the car, so just give me one sec. Alright, so what we're looking at here now is the, I took the cover off, and this is a couple of the control units. This one here is the transmission control unit. It's in, you know, I have the covers off so all the wires are exposed, but the second thing that this could possibly be is the oil, the transmission fluid comes up the wires, the insulation of the wires, and it gets into the TCM. Okay, so I actually had the TCM out. I took it out of the plastic sleeve that protects it, and I looked at with a magnifying glass around the circuit board. Nothing was burnt, so that seemed to eliminate that problem. So now we did the conductor plate, that didn't work. I checked the TCM for oil contamination, and it didn't have it. So the only thing really left we have is that gear selector module. They call it a funky name. I'm not sure what they call it, but I just call it the gear selector module in the center console. And what I have here is a logic board, okay, of when the car is in drive or reverse, what the computer should read. So we're going to run some tests with that with the voltmeter. I'll have the camera on the voltmeter as I'm switching the wires around. Okay, so we're going to, for instance, we're going to do a reading in reverse, and then we're going to do a reading in drive. Okay, and we're going to see what's going on with that. So just give me a second to set up. Okay, so I'm set up on the same side of the car, and I have my voltmeter set up. And I'm going to be touching the different wires that send the signal back to the computer, so the computer knows what gear it's in. So for instance, I have reverse selected right now, key on, engine off. I have my negative lead to the voltmeter to a good known ground, which there's a couple of grounds right here at the TCM. Okay, so I'm going to be touching the wires, and according to this logic table for reverse, okay, I should have on pin number 25 0 volts, and then 26, 27, and 28 I should have 10 volts, and that's how the computer knows that I'm in reverse. So let's start with pin number 25. Okay, I just have 0.25, which is fine. Okay, now we're going to go to pin 26. Okay, it's showing I have the 10 volts. Battery might be a little low because I've had the key on. Okay, now we're going to go to pin 27. Okay, it shows the voltage. And now pin number 28. And it shows the voltage. So this is reading correctly. And when I select reverse, I have no problem going into reverse. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run around and put this car in drive. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing now with this logic board. Okay, for drive, I should have 25 and 26, 0, 27, 10 volts, 28, 0 volts. Okay, so let's see what we have. So now I'm on pin number 25. Okay, key on, engine off. Okay, I got 0 volts. I'm on pin number 26. I have 0 volts. And now I'm on pin number 27. Okay, now, if you remember, the logic table on pin number 27 should say I have 10 volts. Check out the voltmeter. I got 0. And then I'm going to go to pin number 28, and I also have 0. So, this is what the computer is seeing. So, how is this supposed to know that I put the car in drive? How's it going to know to turn on the solenoid to apply the clutch so I go forward? Okay, so I have 0. I'm at 25 again. I'm at 26, 27. I got nothing across the board for drive, and reverse, red fine. Okay, so now let's just do one more test, and let me switch this thing to neutral. Okay, now I am in neutral. And for neutral, okay, this logic table, I should have 10, 0, 10, 10. So let's check it out. Okay, pin number 25, I got 10 volts. Pin number 26, I got 0. Pin number 27, I got 10. Pin number 28, I got 10. Okay, so we know now that that gear selector module in the center console is probably no good. All right, so to further confirm that, what I'm going to do, remember on pin, okay, on this one here, when it's in drive, on pin number 27, we got to have 10 volts. Okay, so I'm going to hook a voltmeter up, and I'm going to bring the voltmeter in the car, and we're going to drive the car. And it's going to delay, and it's probably not going to shift out of first. But I want to see when this 10 volts pops onto the voltmeter, it's probably going to work okay at that point. So let me get set up for that. I'm going to open up the gate, and we're going to take this for a ride. I'm hoping it's not going to stay in first too long. I might have to let the car heat up a little bit. But sometimes it stays in first for a couple of miles, but let's see how it goes. I'm going to get set up for that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm sitting in the car. I got it in neutral. As you can see, I got 10 volts on that particular wire that I should have 10 volts on when this car is in drive. And I'll put it in drive, and you can see the voltage is not there when I should have 10. So let's put it back into neutral. Okay, I'm going to start this, and we're going to take it for a ride, see what happens. I'm going to try to hold the camera as steady as I can. Okay, now I'm going to drop it in drive. See, we got nothing, and we got a delay. Boom. There's our delay. And let's see if this thing shifts out of first, because we got no voltage on this voltmeter. So let's see. Okay. See, I got no shift out of first. I'm doing 15 miles an hour, 2,500 RPM, and I got nothing. All right, so what I got to do is I got to wait for 10 volts to show up on this meter before this thing is probably going to work okay. There I am, still in first. Here's a shot of the dash. Stuck in first gear. Okay. Now what I actually got to do is I got to let this thing probably heat up a little bit. Because once I got 10 volts on this, then we're going to be in good shape. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Let's see. Go back to the shop. Still got no shift out of first. Okay, now I'm going to put it in reverse. See, I immediately got 10 volts, and it knows, you know, that it has to, what it has to do to achieve reverse. So we'll put it back in drive. I don't want to give it any gas because I'm right, it just actually went in. It just did a little bang. But what I'm going to do is I guess I'll have to let this thing run a little bit, and then we'll show you the difference once I have the 10 volts on this particular wire. Alright, so I'm just going to let the car run, and I will be back in probably 5 or 10 minutes when this thing is heated up. Here's a shot of the backyard. Got a lot of stuff going on. Landscaping truck. This is our, what you're looking at right now is our truck section. We got 18-foot doors there and 30,000-pound lifts. We got a couple of trucks coming in we got to work on. All right, so I'll be back shortly. I'm going to drive this thing when it's working correctly. All right, guys, I'm in drive, and you can see I got a little over 11 volts. Put it in neutral. Oh, let me just turn my meter back on. Okay, drop it in drive. We got immediate. Oh, I lost the voltage, but you know what? When I'm playing with the handle, there we go. I got it back. Okay, so let's take this for a ride now. I'm backing out of the shop here in the backyard. Okay, I have immediate engagement. I got 11 volts, and this is shifted nice. We're in third gear. So my problem definitely is this mechanism right here. A lot of times what happens with these is the circuits get shorted because they maybe left the sunroof open, or they spilled coffee or tea, and that's what happens. I didn't really question anything like that to the customer or the account that sent us the car. And this looks like it's going to be it'll be okay now because we got the voltage. So Monday morning I'm going to order the bezel for this shifter, and we'll install it and get it back to the guy. But for about a week or so I was on a little bit of a wild goose chase because of my software on my scanner. When I kept getting the readings on the N3, the N2 and N3 speed sensors were reading the same, and that shouldn't be. But what I did was, like I said, I had put my scope on the N3 and had the square wave, and everything, it was working the way it should. So at that point I knew my speed sensors were working okay. All right, so we'll put this thing in park. You know what, let's just put it back in drive again. Okay, see, so now it's working good. Now it's in drive. I have my voltage. I have no delay. So we know what we got to do now. With this 99 Mercedes E320, this was delayed on takeoff and no shift out of first. And we found it to be a bad electronic gear shift module, I guess maybe you want to call it, or the gear selector is no good. All right, guys, thanks for watching on this one, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.